The Last of the Mohicans, 1992, isn't just a cinematic masterpiece. It's filled with secrets that most fans don't know. From Daniel Day-Lewis living like a frontiersman to prepare for his role, to the massive replica of Fort William Henry that was built and then torn down, this film has a fascinating behind-the-scenes story. In this video, we're revealing 20 strange facts about the making of the movie, including the challenges the cast and crew faced and how the haunting soundtrack became one of the most celebrated of its time. Get ready to uncover the hidden truths that made The Last of the Mohicans a film to remember. Fact 1. Daniel Day-Lewis's extreme preparation for Hawkeye. Daniel Day-Lewis fully embraced the role of Hawkeye by living like an 18th-century woodsman for months. He learned to hunt, fish, and cook with period tools, even carrying a flintlock rifle everywhere to make it feel natural. By the time filming started, he was so immersed in the character that his survival skills came effortlessly, making his portrayal of Hawkeye one of the most authentic in cinema history. Fact 2. Composer's last-minute scramble. The Last of the Mohicans almost faced a musical disaster. Composer Trevor Jones initially used electronic sounds for the score, but director Michael Mann felt it didn't fit the film's epic tone. With the release deadline approaching, Jones had to rework the score using a full orchestra. Unable to finish on time, Randy Edelman stepped in to help. Their separate contributions were blended into a soundtrack that became one of the most iconic of the 1990s, perfectly capturing the film's romance and intensity. Fact 3. Eric Schwag's hard road to stardom. Eric Schwag, who played Uncas, overcame a challenging path to Hollywood. Adopted young, he faced personal struggles before finding solace in carving, painting, and eventually acting. His portrayal of Uncas brought strength and dignity to the film's most tragic character, reflecting his own resilience and the movie's themes. Fact 4. Filmed in North Carolina, not New York. Although set in colonial New York, the film was actually shot in North Carolina's Blue Ridge Mountains. The area's forests, rivers, and cliffs provided the perfect rugged frontier backdrop. Locations like Lake James and Chimney Rock Park allowed the crew to build sets like Fort William Henry, creating a sense of isolation that matched the film's survival themes. Fact 5. Russell Means advocated for extras. Russell Means, who played Chingachgook, used his activism to improve conditions for Native American extras on set. He secured better pay, housing, and treatment for the 175 extras, many with little experience. His efforts ensured their cultural presence was respected and integral to the film's authenticity. Means' advocacy extended beyond the screen, highlighting his dedication to Native American representation. Fact 6. Fort William Henry was hand-built. One of the film's most impressive feats was building Fort William Henry from scratch in North Carolina's forests. Located by Lake James, the 40-acre fort was made with timber harvested for the film. It wasn't just a facade. Many parts were functional, allowing actors and cameras to move through it like a real 18th-century fort. The $6 million structure was dismantled after filming, but gave the battles a sense of realism. Fact 7. Box office triumph. When The Last of the Mohicans debuted in 1992, it faced uncertain expectations, as historical dramas were often risky. However, its blend of romance, action, and stunning visuals made it a hit. With a $40 million budget, it earned over $143 million worldwide, becoming one of the year's top successes. Daniel Day-Lewis's powerful performance, Michael Mann's direction, and the iconic score helped the film gain both critical and commercial success. It resonated with history fans and mainstream audiences alike. This financial victory turned it into a major box office hit, proving that epic period films could captivate global audiences. Fact 8. Planet Song Variations. The haunting ballad I Will Find You by Clannad became a key part of The Last of the Mohicans, but fans may not know there are several versions of it. Depending on the film release, The song's length and language vary. Some versions feature longer tracks with English lyrics, while others include shorter renditions or add Gaelic and Mohican lines. These changes reflect adjustments for different cuts and markets, balancing emotional impact and pacing. Regardless of the version, the song's powerful tone remains one of the film's most iconic, mirroring Hawkeye's vow to Cora: stay alive no matter what. Fact 9. Oscar win for sound. The Last of the Mohicans won the 1993 Oscar for Best Sound, the film's only Academy Award. This recognition highlighted the immersive sound design, which brought the 18th century wilderness to life. From musket clashes to rushing waterfalls, every sound was meticulously crafted to pull viewers into the chaos of frontier conflict. While the film also excelled in cinematography and performances, it was the sound design that truly stood out, making it a technical triumph that immersed audiences in both sight and sound. Fact 10. Promontory's Scottish origins. The iconic promontory theme from The Last of the Mohicans was inspired by the Scottish folk tune The Gale by Dougie Mlan. Composed in 1990, its haunting melody perfectly captured the film's emotional depth and sweeping landscapes. Trevor Jones adapted and expanded it, turning it into a powerful anthem with orchestration and drums. This blend of European music and frontier themes created one of the most recognizable movie scores of the decade, still performed in concerts and events today. Fact 11. Weapons fired without reloading. The battle scenes in The Last of the Mohicans are intense, but they bend historical accuracy. Muskets and flintlocks of the 18th century required time-consuming reloading after every shot, often taking up to 20 seconds. In the film, however, the action flows non-stop, with characters firing rapidly without reloading. While this was necessary for pacing and excitement, it wasn't historically accurate. In reality, soldiers had to carefully reload before firing again. This fantasy element added thrilling momentum to the film's battles, even if it strayed from the actual pace of 18th century warfare. Fact 12. Uniforms and flags were wrong. While historical accuracy was a key focus, not everything in The Last of the Mohicans matched reality. British uniforms, regiments, and flags contained errors. Some units, like certain Highland regiments, didn't exist at the time, and flag designs were inaccurate. Casual viewers might not notice, but historians quickly spotted the mistakes. Still, the bright uniforms and fluttering banners added visual impact, creating an immersive experience. For many, the spectacle outweighed the errors, though history buffs often cite these as some of the film's most noticeable inaccuracies. Fact 13. Invented geography at Lake George. The Last of the Mohicans often feels historically precise, but not every location was real. During the siege of Fort William Henry, Hawkeye watches from an island in Lake George, a landmass that doesn't exist. This fictional geography let director Michael Mann stage more dramatic shots and gave characters a clear vantage point for the action. While historians note the inaccuracy, audiences were captivated by the stunning cinematic landscape, which remains one of the film's most memorable visual moments. Fact 14. Continuity goofs in the film. Even a meticulously crafted film like The Last of the Mohicans has its slips. Sharp-eyed viewers have spotted broken branches appearing too early, characters moving inconsistently, or props changing positions between shots. These minor errors don't disrupt the story, but once noticed, they're hard to ignore. Tight shooting schedules often sacrificed small details for speed. For some fans, these tiny goofs add charm, showing that even a cinematic masterpiece isn't flawless. Fact 15. Language blend on screen. One of the film's subtle strengths is its use of multiple languages for authenticity. Beyond English, dialogue included French, Cherokee, Mohawk, and Delaware, reflecting the cultural mix of the 18th century frontier. Commanders barked orders in French while native leaders spoke their own languages, grounding the story in a complex reality. Subtitles helped audiences follow along, but the multilingual approach added depth, immersion, and a sense of the challenges of communication during wartime. Fact 17. Wes Studi's authentic roots. Wes Studi delivered a powerful performance as Magua, the Huron leader, bringing depth and nuance to a character shaped by loss and loyalty. Drawing on his Cherokee heritage, Studi added authenticity to Magua's motivations, portraying him not as a one-dimensional villain, but as a figure driven by grief and injustice. His work remains one of the film's most memorable performances, showing how cultural insight can elevate even the darkest character. Fact 18. Almost cast big names. The last of the Mohicans could have looked very different. Well-known actors like Andy McDowell for Cora, Brian Cox for Colonel Monroe, and Jean Rio for Montcalm were considered. Each would have brought a unique energy to the film, from McDowell's charm to Cox's gravitas. In the end, the chosen cast defined the movie's tone, but it's fascinating to imagine how these almost cast actors might have changed the chemistry and feel of the story. Fact 19. The film's enduring legacy. Over 30 years later, The Last of the Mohicans remains a landmark in historical cinema. Its sweeping score, striking performances, and breathtaking landscapes continue to captivate audiences. Blending romance, tragedy, and action, it set itself apart from typical period dramas and became a defining moment for actors like Daniel Day-Lewis and Wes Studi, as well as director Michael Mann. Beyond the screen, the film reshaped expectations for historical epics, proving that a story of love, survival, and cultural conflict can remain timeless and unforgettable. Fact 20. Novel versus film. Myth-making. The Last of the Mohicans walks the line between history and legend. James Fenimore Cooper's novel romanticized Native Americans and frontiersmen, and Michael Mann's film followed suit, prioritizing adventure and romance over strict historical accuracy. Real events, timelines, and cultural details were altered for cinematic effect, creating a larger-than-life vision of frontier life. Yet this blend of fact and fiction isn't a flaw. It makes the story feel immediate and emotional, showing how storytelling can shape cultural memory for generations. After uncovering these 20 weird and fascinating facts about The Last of the Mohicans, 1992, it's clear that the story behind the camera is just as epic as what we see on screen. From Daniel Day-Lewis living like a frontiersman to massive sets, historical liberties, and multiple versions of the film, each detail adds depth to this cinematic classic. Which fact surprised you the most? Hawkeye's intense survival training, the ambitious Fort William Henry set, or the multiple edits and soundtracks? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more hidden stories from your favorite films.